Hey, happy Friday, everybody, and welcome back to the I-5 Corridors Traffic Report. Justin Myers over there, Tyson Alger over here. You can see us on YouTube, or you can listen to us on all the platforms, Justin.
Yeah, wherever you get your finer podcasts.
Wherever you get your finer podcasts. We are the top shelf, if you will.
100%. Name brand podcasting is what we are. We are not that generic bulk section podcast.
No.
That you scoop out and maybe you mislabel so you could save a couple of bucks per pound.
And
I know who you are.
And I think it's also fair to say that today we're recording this on Thursday. It's November 6th. It is raining sideways out. Daylight savings came and kicked us all in the ass. Mm-hmm. We're a pretty depressed podcast, Justin. I mean, the good weather is over. Like you can just see it in the faces when you go to the grocery store. It's just kind of this like, there's no hellos. I'm going to go get my stuff and I'm getting out of here.
Like, let's all keep our eyes down. Let's just focus on getting through the next 7 months.
Survive in advance.
Everybody's the back of like their pants are wet. I still wear my white shoes even though they're getting gunked up. Like it's bad. Like,
yeah.
Okay. Here's something that was brought up. I think I saw Josh Pate talking about this.
It's not pate.
It's not.
I mean,
pate.
we've been talking about the finer things.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
I have had pate, overrated. But
you know what's funny is like you to me screams like pate.
100%, clearly.
Yeah.
But I did want to credit Josh talking about this because I'm going to rip it off. But I feel like it's an interesting conversation. Dan Lanning's sideline attire.
Okay.
It's a subject that fascinates me because when you are a head coach, the world is your oyster. Mm-hmm. You get to wear whatever you want.
Right.
And so I'm fascinated with like what you would choose to wear, because all the assistants are told what to wear. Everybody else on the team is told what to wear. You are wearing this. The head ball coach will not be told what to wear. It is what Dan Lanning chooses to wear. And in a nasty rainstorm a week and a half ago at Autzen Stadium, he's wearing a cotton pullover and no hat. And now he's a tough guy, but it just...
Do you think his
with all the innovation and technology that goes into the gear that Nike provides, that Dan Lanning decided to wear...
Like, don't you think they'd be trying to sell some high-tech rain jacket or something?
That's what I thought. But also, it was also the Grateful Duck stuff. And
True.
He was on brand wearing a Grateful Duck hooded sweatshirt. But I don't know. It's supposed to be nasty weather in Iowa in a couple of days. Again, rain. It's going to be in the 40s. I'm fascinated. Like, at what point will weather force Dan Lanning to actually dress weather appropriate? Because he seems to like to wear the same kind of stuff, t-shirts and hooded sweatshirts all the time.
Do you think he gets a call from his mom after the game? Like, honey, nice win, but like, please wear a hat. You're going to catch a cold.
Crying out loud.
For crying out loud, Dan. Every week. It's fascinating because you're used to seeing kind of like the rugged offensive line coach. Like when it's like a 0-degree game, they'll come out like, sleeveless.
Yeah.
Or like maybe like the weight coach.
Strength and conditioning coach always with the sleeveless shirt and when it's snowing.
But I do think that, I mean, head coaches have a look. You can look at the NFL with like Bill Belichick. He would wear the hoodie all the time. It's like you could wear anything that you want, but instead you're wearing this. But I'm pretty sure I've seen some clips of like Bill Belichick like coated up, face like beet red. Like at some point you have to acknowledge what you're facing.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if 40 degrees and rain, which is what it's going to be in Iowa, like at that point, does Dan Lanning put on like a coat? I don't think he's ever worn a hat, to be honest. I don't think he's a hat guy.
I don't think I've actually seen.
Which I always like. I can respect. I think that's a Saban thing. Like Saban didn't wear a hat. So I can respect the no hat, even though once it gets to a certain level, Tyson, my ears got to get covered.
Yeah.
But I wonder. I wonder at what point does he break out the Parker. This is why people come to this podcast.
I mean, like you can tell
Coaching, wardrobe issues.
you can tell we're coming off of a bye week here.
Okay, then let's.
Well, hold on.
Okay.
One last attire question.
Yeah.
Because I've been covering some Timbers lately. They are 1-1 in their 3-game playoff series with San Diego. Phil Neville all season, the Timbers manager, has been a sweatsuit guy. He's been it kind of looks like Phil like walks into the team store before the game.
Yeah.
He's like, I want that sweatshirt and I want that T-shirt or whatever, and then he comes down for Portland's final game of the season, which was like a very important one for them. If they won it, they were able to bypass the wild card round. If they lose it, they're in the wild card round. He comes out in a full suit, full suit. They lost that game 4-0, and it was just a complete downpour of rain the entire second half. So, you talked about Dan Lanning's like wet sweatshirt. I think Phil Neville probably would have burned that suit after that game if he didn't have to wring it out for about the next week afterwards. So it's one thing to maybe like change up your look, but sometimes you have what's working for you.
Yeah, it's one of the weird fascinations I've always had in sports. You're a coach. You get to wear kind of whatever you want to wear. What do you switch it up from game to game? Do you stick with the same thing? Do you go hat? Do you go visor? Do you go no hat? Can you switch it? Like all those things have fascinated me.
Well, and this is where I miss the old Oregon staff in that you said assistants don't get to pick what they wear during the game, but you had Don Pelham and Gary Campbell wearing the nicest European suits to like every home game or every home or away game that they coached for a very long period.
Yes, and walking in with Steve Greatwood, who would be wearing probably the same suit that he wore in like 1987. Which respect, it was an interesting juxtaposition.
Okay, so it's Thursday. In 2 days, the Ducks will face Iowa, number 20 Iowa, on the road. All of a sudden, this second half, last month of the season, is filled with landmines for the Oregon Ducks.
Yeah.
We came into the year thinking that it was very front-loaded with Penn State and Indiana, but suddenly you're looking at this Iowa game, you're looking at USC, who's ranked, you're looking at Washington, who got some shine in the playoff ranking as well. And you're also looking at that playoff ranking where just one loss Oregon, they've only lost to the second-best team in the country. Mm-hmm. They're ranked 10th.
Yeah.
They're ranked 10th. So you're kind of looking at this last month going, ooh, they might have to win all these, Justin.
I think you definitely have to win all those. This is the problem. Like, Oregon has a good loss, albeit it was at home, but your only losses to number 2 team in the country right now. Looking at Indiana's schedule, I don't see a loss in the future for Indiana. You never know because it's college football and it's November and crazy stuff is going to happen. But Oregon with Penn State completely falling off the face of the planet, they don't have a quality win. And at Iowa, I don't know if that would be considered a quality win.
But it would be, but then you beat them and they're falling out of the rankings.
Then they fall out of the rankings.
You beat USC, they're falling out of the rankings. You beat Washington, they're falling out of the rankings.
Now, I know that the committee is supposedly doing the research themselves, looking over their own analytics, taking away their bias. That's why they all left their hats at the door. Did you see that video? Yes. Did you see the video of all those very important people who were given hats to wear for about 10 to 20 feet and then to take that hat off in a symbolic gesture of we're leaving our bias at the front door?
And as we've seen over the last 10 years, as the information age has come about, the older generation doing their own research has really always led to fantastic results. Yeah,
incredibly well. So
I saw this post on Facebook last week, and
I'm pausing so that we try to stay somewhat focused,
so we can cut this and then
because I have some thoughts. That being said, like, there is a problem in college football with that basketball somehow fixed with their quads, right? There's the quad 1, quad 2, like there's a run of teams that are anywhere from 20th best in the country till about 40th best in the country that are good teams. not ranked. They're not terrible teams. They're not horrible teams, but they're good teams. And for whatever reason, college football has just refused. If you are 25th, that is a quality win because that is a ranked opponent. If you are 27th, you are dog shit.
That's not a good quad, Paul.
But do you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, oh, well, that's a ranked opponent. It's like, okay, some teams that are ranked 21 to 22 are how much better are they than a team that if you continued the rankings all the way down would be about 38 or 39? Are they that much better?
Right.
They're not. So with that being said, the fact that Oregon does not have a quality win on its schedule or on its resume right now, until you maybe face USC or Washington, like, you got to win all these. You want to make the playoff. You got to win all these. If you don't, then you have to root for chaos. You have to root. You have to root and campaign, right? You have to root against certain teams. And Landing's got to do things that I think he hates doing, which is going out on every podcast, on every show, and campaigning for his team, and like Signetti did last year.
And Dan's never had to do that before.
Never. Not at Oregon.
Like, Dan's always been in kind of like the position of power with Oregon, because either it's you win and it takes care of itself, because the first 2 years college football expansion, it was you just beat Washington. If you just beat Washington, you get like 3 tries to do it. But if you just beat Washington, you're in. But then, last year, how many games did they lose last year in the regular season? It was 0.
Boom.
0. They were number 1 in every ESPN playoff horse and pony Tuesday night show that they ran out there for the final month of the season. So it will be fascinating to see if Dan actually has to kind of do the podcast rounds, see if he's on Good Morning America or the Today Show or something.
And it's gonna, to be fair, like, hopefully Oregon, coming from the fan in me, wins all their games, ends up with a decent spot, maybe a home game in the playoff, because other teams are going to lose.
I mean, there's like 8 SEC teams in front of them that all have one loss.
Yeah,
it seems like so that's going to eventually knock each other out at some point.
They're going to play each other. So the first round of rankings is like it's the lesson we never learn. You know what I mean? Same thing with like preseason rankings. This is going to change. Like, this is literally for entertainment only. This is just this is a TV show. It does not matter until the end. Where you're ranked right now, the only thing that matters is it kind of gives maybe a view of what the committee thinks of you. And they think Oregon is a little bit less than what maybe the public would. 6 to 10 is kind of where that difference is.
The weekly ranking show is kind of like Christmas music. It comes out way too early. For that first week, you're like, oh, look what's back. And then you just kind of go,
yeah, we're just way too early.
And then for the final one, you're kind of appreciative of like, all right, we're not going to have this for a bit. But it's, I mean, it's a TV thing. What it does do, though, is I mean, if you're Dan Lanning and if you've had any trouble at all of getting your team focused, which I don't think that's really been their issue, but
no.
It's pretty easy to throw some darts at the bulletin board on this one and be like, yeah, like you lose any of these, and those cliches of we still have everything to play for are going to quickly be gone. Yeah,
they have no margin for error, and part of it's their fault losing at home to Indiana. Yeah, it's the number 2 team in the country, but you had a home game coming off of a bye.
A lot of it's James Franklin's fault.
And then some of it's not their fault. Like the fact that Penn State just absolutely fell off a cliff. I shouldn't say unlike anything we've ever seen before. We've seen these things before. We conveniently forget them because once your team gets to a certain level of bad, then you're just forgettable in November. Right. But I think back to the last Lane Kiffin USC team. Remember they went 10-2, crushed Oregon. I think it was heading into 2012. They beat Oregon in 2011 in the LeBron game. They went 10-2 that year. Matt Barkley comes back. USC's ranked number 1, and they just weren't that good. And much like Penn State, they lost, fell off a cliff, fired their coach on the tarmac of the airport, and then moved on. So it's happened before, but it's happening right now. The fact that Penn State just is a complete shell of what we all thought they were. And the schedulers didn't really do Oregon any favors.
So we're kind of doing this long run up of Oregon needs to win all these games. Mm-hmm. Do you think Oregon can win this game here on Saturday? Because this is a weird one. Like you and I were talking a little bit beforehand of just not really having a feel for this game.
Yeah.
And I think some of it is, what we saw in that Wisconsin game, which I've actually come around to actually appreciating a little bit more, just because you lose your starting quarterback for an entire half. It's raining. You have a walk-on playing quarterback. You would still win comfortably, survive in advance.
Yeah.
You got out of it. But this is an offense that hasn't been consistent really since pre-Penn State. It's a defense that we've seen play some really good football, especially in the secondary, but we've also seen them give up some pretty key yardage and kind of big situations too. So it's like this Iowa team, they have no passing attack. They're very good on the ground. They score a lot of points for being one-dimensional, but a lot of that is the fact that they have one of the best punt return and kick returners in all of college football, and they're opportunistic on defense. So the blueprint seems kind of clear for the Ducks. It's take care of the football, be efficient on your drives, don't let them play catch up. But I mean, with the way we've seen the Ducks start games recently, their first drives have been a mess.
Absolute complete mess. They even tried to
the onside,
hack the system with an onside kick, and it still didn't work. It led to a 3-and-out. So I think I said this before the Penn State game, and I'm going to kind of reiterate it. Like last year, it didn't feel like a Big Ten football season for Oregon.
Right.
You had the Ohio State game, but that game was kind of seen as a makeup for the game we lost in 2020, and it just seemed like still a big, giant non-conference game with Ohio State because that's the way it was scheduled. And then your conference opponents at home were like, it was Maryland, it was Illinois, and Michigan wasn't very good when they went to. It just didn't feel like that Big Ten style of football that we're used to. And I think I said it for the Penn State game, like this is going to be like the first real Big Ten game. And this is what at Iowa feels like. Like this is going to be Big Ten football. This is going to be cold, rainy, running the ball, 3 yards in a cloud of turf pellets. Can you win that way? And I mean, Cristobal tried to build a team that could win those type of games. Lanning continued to try to build a team. I think it even came out on like the Ducks versus them. Like this is going to be a fight. Like who do you trust in,
right.
If you're going to be in a fight, this game's going to be a 4-quarter fight. It just feels like the clock is going to be short. Every yard is going to be tough for both teams. And like, can Oregon win a Big Ten type of game? I always said like uniforms are kind of magic. Like you see a certain uniform, you think a certain thing. UCLA, for example, right? When you see UCLA uniforms, you think of a certain thing. When you see Iowa uniforms, regardless of who's in them, you think of a certain thing. Can Oregon, in their flashy Nike uniforms that everybody thinks of as offense and speed, get down in not exactly the muck, but get down into the nastiness of Big Ten football?
Do you have confidence that they can do that? Because this Oregon team to me right now seems that it is incredible at playing from the front. When everything is working well, they are fantastic. Wasn't working well against Indiana. Wasn't working well most of this Wisconsin game. They were still able to pull it out. I guess the saving grace would be you point to that Penn State game, but it just sucks that Penn State game is almost like the redheaded stepchild of the season of like, no, I love it. I love that. Yeah. But it's just,
they were different then.
It was different then, but it's just so hard to point to that game, even though that coming out of that game, we sat here and talked about all the adversity they overcame and the way they regrouped and like the big plays they made. It's just unfortunate that that's really the only game that we've seen them have to make those ones where they actually did.
Yeah, I mean, I think they can. They kind of proved it in Wisconsin. Like that wasn't their clearly their best game.
True.
And they found a way not only to win, but to win comfortably. But Wisconsin stinks.
Yeah, Iowa beat them 35-0, I believe.
Yeah. The only thing about this game that, well, many things make me nervous, but like, there is a common opponent there, right? Iowa played Indiana down to the wire, right? Iowa got Indiana into the game that what was that? It's 15-10?
Something like that.
I think was that ridiculous score. It was 15-10. Like, that's the game that Iowa wants to play. And I'm interested to see how Oregon comes out, because like you mentioned, haven't started out games well. And can they get the tempo going, or will Iowa, because they're at home, in all the things that surround, an Iowa football game, just grind this game down into an ugly, ugly game?
So we talked about the college football rankings, which come out every Tuesday on ESPN. Were you able to actually watch said college football rankings?
No, it was not, Tyson.
Let me guess. You don't have cable anymore.
I do not, Tyson.
I imagine when you got rid of cable, you went through the list of potential cord-cutting TV service providers, and you looked through the list, and you identified, Sling's cheap, but doesn't have all the options that I want. Mm-hmm. Fubo, YouTube TV, that's a trusted brand, and they have ESPN, and they'll never not have ESPN, right?
Clearly, they would never not have ESPN, and they've also got Sunday Ticket.
Right.
So it's, if you're a sports fan, that's where you go.
Mm-hmm.
Tyson,
you want to fill people in on if they're not up to date on the latest drama of?
I'm going to start with this. I hate the fact that I'm right a lot. And I know that sounds arrogant and self-serving, but with a lot of things, I was right.
Is this just in the sports realm, or will this opinion hold the test if we brought your wife into the conversation?
No, this is solely for sports.
Okay, just making sure. Just making sure.
Solely for sports. I remember getting in knockdown, drag-out arguments about what NIL would be, right? And people saying, oh, Justin, they can't make any money off. And I'm like, what? Like, what is the value of the? And I'm like, I have this ability. I'm a nice guy. Mm-hmm. You know me.
Yeah.
I'm a nice guy.
People like you.
Some do.
Yeah.
I have this weird thing, like I think like a scumbag.
Mm-hmm.
I don't act on it, but I think like it.
Yeah.
And so when I saw like NIL, I'm like, you guys aren't thinking like an SEC scumbag booster who would be like, oh yeah, his name, image, likeness. I can pay him for that now. Please sign this cocktail napkin. Here's $180,000. And everybody thought NIL was going to be the cure-all. Here it is. We figured it out. Just let him have some commercials. Maybe Justin Herbert could do a local Kendall Ford, and they'll get some endorsements, and because they're already famous. And I'm like, yeah, but what happens when they just get cut a check? No. And I'm like, that's what's going to happen because you can't regulate it. What? And then I was telling people, and then watch, people are going to be getting signing bonuses for letters of intent. And I was told, no. And I said, what? And lo and behold, I was right. I'm glad these kids get paid. I hope they take that money and turn it into generational wealth. I truly do. College football's not better with players getting paid. It's not. I said this about the playoff. You watch. When it went from 4 to 12, it's going to go to 16, and then it's going to go to 32, and then it's going to become college basketball. Tyson, I said this. And before we even got a 12-team playoff, you're already hearing whispers of like, what if we do 16?
Well, 20 is not that much more than 16.
Because, yeah.
If you go...
Or maybe 20.
But if it's 20, you might as well go...
Might as well get to 24 and then 32. Clearly, let's have more teams in the playoffs that are ranked in the poll.
Parties are more fun with more people.
Yeah, there's never a time where there's just too many people, and people who maybe you didn't even want to come to the party show up. And I was right about that, and it's already happening. When streaming started happening, I saw it, and I go, there's no way this is going to work out. Cable TV as a product wasn't perfect, but it was pretty close. Had everything you wanted, maybe some stuff you didn't. You had a DVR there. Sure, did you have to sit through some commercials? Yeah, but You had everything you needed. Then the cable companies got greedy, and they started charging $300 for cable packages with internet, to where we got to the point where, all right, that's it, cutting the cord. And I was like, there's no way that it's going to stay this way. Streaming is going to turn into cable. It just is. Cable is ultimately what we want. We just don't want it for $300. And streaming masked all that. And it's like, it's a la carte. And then you start and you realize like, oh, I've grabbed too much. You go to check out and you're like, whoa, I didn't consider that or that or that. And so now we sit here. If you have YouTube TV and you cut the cord and you finally got everything, unlimited DVRs, everything we need, and these greedy bastards took it. And I knew it was going to happen. Yeah. I knew that at some point, all this streaming stuff was going to turn into cable TV.
It was going to get as expensive as cable.
It was going to get as expensive as cable because we're all addicted to watching sports on TV. We are addicts. We need our fix.
And there's a whole younger generation coming up that don't even know what cable is.
Exactly.
So they have no price point to compare. Like,
oh no, it's a streaming bundle. Yeah, it's cable. Yeah. Is what it is. Yeah. You're paying for cable. And now it's a fight over. And
it's kind of like conference realignment in the sense that they've done all this. It keeps getting worse. And at some point, they're all going to realize, it'd be nice if we had all the West Coast teams on one side of the country. And we could, it'd be cool is if we had just all of our TV channels on one thing.
Just one thing. And we just pay one bill. And sure, it's a big bill, but just pay one.
But okay, so my question is like, who are we supposed to be pissed at right now, though? Because essentially it's Google and ESPN. They have contract issues with each other. YouTube pulled ESPN from its airwaves or vice versa or whatever. One side's telling you be pissed at ESPN. ESPN's telling you be pissed at YouTube TV. Mm-hmm. Is this just one of those scenarios where it's just screw both of them?
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
It truly is.
Just making sure. Yeah.
It is screw both of them. Like the frat president and vice president are beefing, and it's like I don't like either of those guys. They're both kind of d-bags. And then here's the problem. This is Google versus Disney. They have a lot of money to keep this war going.
Yeah.
At what point do we talked about at the very beginning? At what point in the weather does Dan Lanning break and just put on a coat? Tyson, at what point do I break?
It's like getting like a Dodgers Yankees World Series every year. You don't want to cheer for either of these.
But at some point, do I have to break and just get Hulu or? So
I imagine there's a little bit of leveraging going on here from the ESPN side, just because what was it, a month or two ago they came out with their standalone ESPN streaming thing. Yeah. So they're just like, hey, just come over to us. You can pay $30 a month for just sports, even though the streaming package you signed up for probably like 3 years ago was initially probably $30, and you got everything else on top of it too.
Also, ESPN, I'm sorry. Yeah, I love sports, but you know what? I also like diners, drive-ins, and dives.
I love diners and drive-ins.
Isn't that the best? It's the best.
I used to like the Travel Channel before it just turned into... It's... Okay, so here's what happened to cable, is you got a whole bunch of these networks that like Discovery Channel. Usually that's kind of like sciencey things, or if they do have like reality shows, it would be Deadliest Catch or something. Uh-huh. Or Animal Planet. Guess what would be on Animal Planet? Animals.
Boom.
None of that matters anymore.
No.
It's just whatever reality show or cheap program you can put all. By the way, rest in peace, Ridiculousness, coming to a 15-year run on MTV. Rob Dyrdek, just one of the most talented people in the industry.
But it's like,
that's like what MTV turned into. It used to be the music channel, then it just turned into like a whole day-long marathon of whoever has like Office reruns or
ridiculousness,
ridiculousness, or
But like I can't just go all sports. Like I got to watch Triple D. I got to watch Bar Rescue. I
saw some Triple D reviews for Iowa City when I'm going there this weekend.
So that's a smart move.
Yeah. I roll with Guy.
So here's what I will say. I would like to personally thank the Portland Trail Blazers.
Okay.
You might be like, why? First off, beat Oklahoma City last night. That was cool. Not too shabby, these Blazers.
Oklahoma City, they won the title last
Defending
year.
champions,
Yeah,
yes,
correct,
yes. But here's why I want to thank the Portland Trail Blazers. The Blazers did what most teams are doing now, which I think is smart with their TV deal, and they went to a local product. And to be able to get the local product, I will tell you exactly what I did. I went to Fred Meyer.
Did you get bunny ears?
I didn't get
It's not bunny ears.
It's not
anymore.
even bunny ears.
It'd be cooler if it was bunny
ears.
ears.
It's a black piece of plastic.
Yeah.
And so I went to Fred Meyer for $17 a year and 2 or 3 months ago, whatever, September of 2024. Plugged it into my TV. It sits behind a lovely picture of my wife and I. You can't see it.
It's just the two most important things in your life.
My lovely wife.
And your sports.
My antenna to be able. But because the Blazers went local and I went and bought that antenna, boom, I had ABC.
You can get them. You can get the Kraken. You can get.
And I got Saturday ABC college football. And I got Monday Night Football. I did not get to see SMU beat Mario Cristobal. And are we still laughing about that?
A little bit. But it's just so out of character. Just so out of character for Mario to lose. Anyways,
can we divert just real quick?
That's what we do best. It's what we do best.
It's the funniest beef that Oregon fans I think have ever had is the beef with Mario Cristobal.
The Ducks are in such a better place. Because of Mario Cristobal.
But yet every time he does a Mario thing, we just we can't help but giggle. Like
it's like we linked him and Willie Taggart kind of as the same person, as like both those guys did the exact same thing to Oregon, even though one of them completely rebuilt the program, won a Rose Bowl for them, and put them in a position to where Dan Lanning would want to come and coach Oregon. Yeah,
and no Oregon fan in their right mind would ever want Cristobal to stay. Like, yeah, it sucked that he dumped us, but in the end, right? Kelly Clarkson, stronger video. Like, here comes Dan Lanning, right? Meant to be, right? Rascal Flats, God bless the broken road, led us straight to Dan.
We're gonna cut this.
No, we are not.
No. This is gonna be for social media. We're gonna
definitely. Yet, every time Cristobal, whether it was that ridiculous loss to Georgia Tech when they had to just take the knee and we were like, yeah, we've seen that before, or the fact that you had a fourth quarter lead and the ball, and now your quarterback is essentially calling out your play calling, saying like, it ain't my fault. I run the plays that are called. We still giggle.
Yeah.
There's no reason to still like hold on to it, but for some reason that's the one where we giggle.
I mean, I think a lot of it too is it rewards people who bought the stock early on of Mario's a good coach, but he has this thing, and like you saw it pop up 2 or 3 times at Oregon, and you're kind of just wondering, was that enough of a sample size to really give this guy this reputation? And oh boy.
Yeah, like I don't think they do it anymore. Back in the day, not even that far back, but like during a break in the game, Don Essig would read off like scores from around college football, and he would.
That's good, Don.
I don't do many good impressions. My Don Essig, spot on. But also my Don Essig from like 2005.
Oh, yeah, just a little bit stronger, a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Still got it though, by the way. But like he would do scores from around college football, and if Oregon State or Washington was losing, it would get like a nice pop.
Yeah.
If Don Essig this year were to like read off scores, where does Miami losing?
Oh, like, more than anything. That would be more than
like the only Washington losing would have a bigger pop.
Only Washington. Like you could even do like Ohio State is losing.
Yeah.
And I think Miami would get a bigger pop.
Yeah, because it's like.
But that's still
holding on to that one.
You know, You've talked so much about the secret sauce of college football in this podcast. That's my secret sauce of college football. Just like the stupid pettiness that makes no sense, affects you zero whatsoever, but you still have a little bit of a screw that guy.
Exactly.
It's we got divorced 8 years ago. Or 4 years ago. Yeah. Everyone else is happy. We're happier. We got kids. They're boy. One of them 6'5". He can throw a football. He's going to get a full ride. But like, look what happened to it.
Yeah. I heard about the other night.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't get to see that because I didn't have ESPN. All that being said, I didn't get to see that.
Okay. Speaking of other things that you might have been grateful not to see, did you see the Oregon men's basketball opener?
Still get Big Ten Network
because I watched that thing.
So yeah, I did watch that.
1-0.
Take the win.
Here's my. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
It clearly people that listen to this podcast over and over, aka our fathers,
and mothers.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Grandma.
And Dad, and Nana. Is it Grandma? Or is it Nana?
Oh, we're a grandma, grandpa family.
Yeah, so were we.
Yeah.
The lessons that we don't learn, right? Whether it's the first rankings of the college football playoff, right? Or whether it's the recruiting rankings, like we never learn these lessons. Preseason rankings, like Dana Altman teams in November, right? We refuse to learn that they are just not going to be a fun watch until at least New Year's.
I mean, it would
they're just not.
You would feel that something in this world had gone off axis if the Ducks came out and they had like a freshman guard who scored like 32 points in like the first game of the season and was just nails from the start, right? Like it would just feel. Just feels a little bizarro.
What's going on here?
Okay, so here's my take. Really ugly game. The Ducks had 21 turnovers. They missed 22 three-point shots. They blew a 14-point lead. They needed a TK Simpkins drive with 4.2 seconds left after what seemed like 15 offensive rebounds to win the game. But any win they get with Jackson Shellstat out of the lineup, I think you just go ahead and be like, you know what, we'll take that. We'll take 100%. That. We'll take that. We'll store that over here because Hawaii, under best circumstances, that's an unmemorable game. You're not going to even remember they played them come March unless you lose to them. And they didn't lose to them. And so, you know what, it's not one of those you get to the end of the season and Oregon's on the bubble and let's take a look at those quadrant losses and you don't have to worry about that now.
At least for a week.
Exactly. You got Rice coming up.
But yes, it just, like I said, it is Dana Altman basketball in November, and it's never been a good month for Oregon basketball, and it's just like we have to just accept that. But okay.
It was just funny because I covered the women's game the night before.
Yeah.
And they won 100-59. So
put the ball in the hole.
Yeah.
It is my, maybe not my grumpiest of grumpy takes, but it's one of them. You have so many tall guys on your team. Mm-hmm. You mentioned how many 3-pointers did they miss?
They missed 22 of 27.
They missed 22 3-pointers. How many dudes they have over 6'8" on this team?
They have at least 4.
At least 4.
Yeah.
I think Hawaii had maybe 1.
Yeah.
We're still shooting threes.
Well,
you've missed 19. You shot 3 more. You missed 3 more. Like, you have so much length. And if I live to be 100, Tyson, I will never understand why players with so much length and are so.
You're talking about a basketball player.
It sure does. Who are so close to the basket. And can't just dunk the ball.
Is this just your inner average height man?
Yes.
Just being like, you know what? If I was 6'9", I agree with you, especially when you have a Nate Biddle who is preseason All Big Ten, was very good last year. I think the biggest issue for them was, and Dana said this afterwards, is with Jackson out, you had Wei Lin running the point. And while he has shown flashes of being good and flashy, he was terrible in this game. And he's also having a really hard time kind of running, like getting the offense started and running the set. So I think Oregon has these big guys. I think they were really bad at figuring out a way to like get them the basketball like in that game.
Yeah. It still doesn't feel like it should be that difficult to get big men the basketball when they're not being guarded by bigger men.
Just lob it up, right? You know.
I mean, I know there's intricacies, and I sound like a big dumb doofus, but
big guy score ball.
But at some point, right? You just like in a game like that, you just have to just abandon the game plan. It's like, all right, every offensive trip down, let's find a mismatch. Let's get a lay-in. Get some stops and get a nice, comfortable 10-point lead and stick there. And no.
Our quarterback is out. It is raining.
Yeah.
Let's just run the football.
Let's just run the football. Nope. We're going to keep running what we run. And although we have missed 21 three-pointers, maybe that 22nd, nope, you're going to miss that one too.
I will say, had Oregon won by like 15 points, we probably wouldn't even be talking about this
Not
game, really.
even a
So
little
it does give us a little bit of content here
Very
in November
true.
coming out of the bye week.
But yeah, it's just never learn our lesson. Get real excited because you see all these guys that Dana Altman and staff are bringing in. And I'm telling you, when we are doing this podcast in January, it's going to be awesome.
Exactly.
But
it's going to be awesome.
November and December it's going to be a rough watch.
Well, no, what it's going to be is it's going to be awesome from like January 1st through the 17th, and then they're going to do like their thing where they lose like 6 games in a row, and then we're going to be and then it's going to be awesome from like February.
Yeah,
that's just how
maybe the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me. But yeah,
I did see a funny couple tweets where it was just like, boy, Dana's team looks disjointed. They don't look in sync. The offense looks terrible. In other words, another Sweet 16 run.
Clearly on the way. Yeah. Okay. Basketball atmosphere question, which we've had this conversation ad nauseum. Oregon has still not captured whatever magic that they had in the old days with MacArthur Court in Matthew Knight Arena. They've continued to tinker with it here and there to try to figure it out. Ooh, maybe let's make the trees darker. Nope, let's maybe make the trees a little bit lighter. Still not it. Pricing, whatever. And so I'm watching, and like, shout at the end of the third quarter is an awesome thing at Autzen Stadium. And again, tip of the cap to Joe Giansante and his crew that implemented it. And it has now become one of those things. Like, they're going to do the Iowa Wave on Saturday to the kids. I mean, just jump around. Shout is now a thing. It just doesn't work in basketball.
Dude,
I'm watching.
I am so glad you brought this up.
I'm watching the broadcast, and they're like, "Oh, they're doing shout," and it's like it just doesn't work in basketball.
Because they try to do it in a little TV timeout. They go quicker in basketball, and it always stops. It always stops right at the a little bit quiet now, a little bit quiet, and it never gets the build. It whistle inbound, and then you never get the build up. It feels like the worst thing you could possibly do.
Yeah, let's just not do it.
Yeah,
just find something else. And again, I've always been like no complaining unless you offer a solution. I don't have a solution. I mean, and I'm sure the game ops people
do you think they could do an edited, like, lighter, quicker version that just gets to the?
There's got to be
in baseball, Zombie Nation has been like the go-to closer music for 20 years up until these guys started coming out with their own.
Yeah,
and a lot of times the pitcher would come out from the bullpen. They start it from the start. It's like, whoa, it's getting going. They let it play for a bit, but then in between pitches, like strike one, they'll start playing the song from like where they left it off. It's just like, can you do that at all with like, can you modify it at all to get just like the highlights of a little bit louder now or something? You could do like. Yeah, you could just do in between plays a little bit louder now, a little bit louder now.
Yeah, I think the problem is like the video, because you got to run the video.
They lock themselves in. They back themselves in with the video.
We don't have to do it at every Oregon thing. You can just do it
big moments
at football.
Yeah, true.
And just not do it during basketball games when you're tied with Hawaii with 4 minutes to go. Like I don't know.
It is kind of funny. I'm going to take you back to the pitch here real quickly.
Every time, by the way, we have these conversations, I chuckle inside because I am no longer in media, and you get to go and see all the game ops people.
Yeah. I heard what he said. I was there. The views expressed by Justin Myers don't explicitly represent the.
Hey, listen, I'm a season ticket holder. I appreciate all the things you guys do. I just maybe don't do shout during basketball.
Or I mean, it's like at the start of that game when they couldn't figure out how to get the clock going. It's like I kind of know the people who are running the clock. You have to mention it a little bit, but also it's like, sorry guys, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Another bad kind of music segue is at the Timbers games I believe it's the 80th minute, so close to the end of the games. One of the chants that the crowd does is, "You are my sunshine," and it's a sweet thing because it's in honor, I believe, of. I don't want to get this wrong, but I believe it's in honor of Timber Jim lost a daughter at one point, and so like it's like a really sweet kind of tradition at Providence Park, but also like that's generally like the most amped up time of the game, and you have your whole crowd singing "You Are My Sunshine." It doesn't really necessarily like lead to like the most like electric atmosphere in those moments.
Yeah, maybe flip it. Maybe do it in the 10th minute.
Yeah,
instead of the.
Yeah. Should we move on to things that are?
Yeah.
Hold on. Actually, one last thing. Were you able to watch Game 7 of the World Series?
I was able to watch Game 7 of the World Series. Yes.
In what would have really pissed younger Tyson off, I missed the extra innings of that, or like the last few innings of that, because I was at Providence Park covering that soccer game, and I was second screening it, but it was right as. Was it Soto who hit the tying shot? Or no, who hit the Santos hit the tying shot? Was basically right as like Gage Guerra was tying the game for the Timbers in like the 99th minute, and so all of a sudden it's like, okay, I probably need to pay attention to what's in front of me. So I didn't get to see the end, but overall it seems like people are saying it was a decent World Series.
Yeah, I mean,
it would have been better. It would have been better with two American teams, but
but you go 7 games, 2 of which went to extras. Wins on the road for both teams.
One pitcher going on 0 days rest.
Yeah.
I guess.
It was. I mean, it was.
I guess it was okay.
It was a great World Series. I do get annoyed with the online. We learned a couple years ago. There's a lot of doctors, and also I've learned there's a lot of people with really good insights on policy. Like they're just out there offering it for free. A lot of good financial people you can find it. I did not know there was this many base running experts available online. And it's interesting to me. For 162 games a year, no one in Major League Baseball cares about base running. They don't. And I know this because I covered a Major League Baseball team for 2 years, and they care about innings. They care about analytics. Basically, the only base running strategy they have, unless you have a guy that can steal a base, is just don't get thrown out on the bases. Right. So from February to September, from spring training to September, like base running is like an afterthought.
Yeah.
Then you get to the postseason, and all of a sudden now you have to learn how to run bases again. And a half a step costs the Toronto Blue Jays the World Series.
It's like college kickers.
It's a lot like college kickers.
You're winning games by 50 points for the first 10 games of the season.
And going for it all the time. And then this one time you need them to make a game winner. Yeah, no big deal.
Right.
But it was interesting the amount of people online who were base running experts. And it's like, these guys don't do this. They don't do this for 8 months.
I do love the This is just the baseball nerd in me, though. I do love just the poetry of you play 162 games, you go through all these playoffs, you go through 7 games of a series, and then basically the outcome comes down to a play at the plate where it's like 1 inch separating. Like that's why I can't quit baseball. Like that's pretty good. All right, what's pissing you off, Justin? Or hold on. We've used that one before. We got to use a different.
We changed the name of this part of the podcast.
Yeah. What's the snake in your boot this week?
There's a snake in my boot. Tyson, take one guess as to what is bothering me this week.
Daylight savings.
100%. Well, it's not daylight savings because daylight savings went away, and now we, for some dumb reason, just decide to make it dark at 4:00. And I have been screaming about this in 3 different media markets on about 7 different shows. And
it's the daylight savings guy.
Yeah. I just want one reason why we do it. I just want one. One reason why we change the clock. It makes no sense to me. Time zones, but we have to have them. I get it. We have to have time zones because the Earth spins. Why do we change the clocks?
You're saying this full well knowing you are a fan of a sport where there's so many things that people just do and there's no reason for them whatsoever.
That is true.
Something about the farmers, But this hurts the farmer.
It does. Yeah. It's actually. I remember.
You know what's worse than a low crop yield? Seasonal depression.
Also, here's the thing. Farmers don't care when 5:00 is. They care when the sun comes up, and then when it goes down, they're done farming for the day. So we could just keep it the same, and it doesn't affect the farmers. Now, we don't want to talk about how during the Industrial Revolution that when we put people from the fields into the factories and we were cracking the whip, and that all of a sudden they realized, hey, if we don't change the clocks, we got to send these people home early, and they're not going to make that. They're not going to make 4 more units of whatever gears we're making. So let's just change it, and we'll tell them we're saving you daylight. Doesn't that sound so good? What it really means is forced extra work. Then we invented light bulbs. Thomas Edison should have ended this. It was over. We were done. We
made it.
You can stay at the office as long as you like now because we have light and Wi-Fi. Why do we go through this ridiculous practice of changing the clock?
Wi-Fi right around the Industrial Revolution. Autzon's still not.
Autzon's still in the Stone Age with regard to internet access.
But they actually
during the game.
They do keep the clock ahead there though. It's nice.
I don't understand it. I don't get why. Why we go through this charade every 6 months of just screwing around with the clocks.
I never had much of an opinion on this before I moved to Oregon, because in Alaska it's like, okay, if you're taking 1 hour away from 2 hours of daylight,
that's adorable.
But then on the other end of it, it's just like in the summers it's light all the damn time. So but then here it was just perfect symmetry that the clocks turned back, and then we had probably like the darkest day of the year too. It was just rainy, and I swear to God, there's something about when the clouds roll in and you just can't even see like the lines on the road. Like do we not use reflective paint down here? I don't even know if that, but it's just it's not fun. It's not fun.
So we changed the clocks. I'm sure there's some entity out there that makes money off of this, which is why and that they're paying off
big clock.
There's gotta be, or something. I don't know. But I'm glad you brought up clock, which brings up the other thing that is got a snake in my boot this week. The iPhone taught us that the clock can just change automatically. Mm-hmm. Why is it that other stuff in our life just doesn't also just change automatically? For instance, the display clock in my truck. Mm-hmm. My truck is synced up to my phone. Mm-hmm. when I play the podcast that I'm listening to, like most of you are maybe doing right now, it magically through the air plays in my truck.
Mm-hmm.
Why doesn't it just change? I have to go through 5 steps to change the display clock on the inside of my truck. Why doesn't it just change automatically?
Well, I was going to ask you, are you a first day daylight savings, you go through and you actually change that clock, or do you ride out the next 6 months like I do and just know that at some point time will take care of itself?
I cannot stand the digital clocks in our house that morning. Fixed them.
Okay.
I can't. It just bugs me.
Mm.
We also got a very nice housewarming gift from my in-laws we have a big ass clock.
Ooh.
And it's really cool.
Yeah.
It's an analog clock.
Okay.
It's got batteries, but it's got
hands?
It's got hands.
Are we talking like how tall are we talking here?
A good 4 feet.
Ooh,
yeah, big clock.
Does it have a big bone?
No, it goes on the wall.
Okay.
Not a grandfather clock. It's just
okay. That's the word I was looking for.
No, it's a regular wall clock,
Okay.
but it's big and it's like I don't know. It looks cool.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure.
My wife is an incredible decorator.
I would love to be invited over at some point and see.
You have been. Oh, I got to go to the Long Branch.
It was a good story.
It was a solid
It was a really good story.
So
I might make it on my way back, guys. I'll yeah, not happening.
Not happening. So the digital clocks all get fixed.
Uh-huh.
Analog clock might,
Yeah.
because we don't really use it to tell time.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of there.
You don't know what the hands mean, do you?
I know what the hands mean.
That's what it is.
I do know what the hands mean.
There's a big one and
There's a big one, a little one, and then another one that just tick tick. Anyways, between the changing of the clocks and then the physical act of changing clocks, that is what has got me so daggum frustrated.
It's always so fun for me when I'm writing like the description of like what's in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
It's like on today's episode, Tyson and Justin will preview the Iowa game. They'll go over the Oregon men's basketball result, talk about the college football playoff, and then clocks.
Yeah,
Clocks.
100%. This is important stuff.
This is important stuff. I mean, like I think this is what separates us from, as you said, the non-cream of the crop Ducks podcast. So
100%. I mean, how many of them are going on 20 minutes of daylight savings? Not too many.
Mm-hmm.
But again, find me one good reason. Give me one. Give me one. Was it Tracy Chapman? While I keep doing this music theme this week, give me one reason to stay here. Like, give me one reason to change the clock, and I'll do it, and I'll turn right back around. But
you were
doing fast car, but
yeah, I know. But do you like that? Like those songs from your youth are now getting remixed?
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't like it, and I'll tell you why. Whether it's at 2 places, whether it's at the gym or at my new place of employment, where there's a lot of kids, fresh faces right out of college.
Another clue.
And so, yeah, and like,
are you a coach?
I am not. Let's just say I don't. It's called having the aux, even though the aux isn't even a thing anymore because it's all Bluetooth.
Right.
I don't get the aux.
Mm-hmm.
But like, the kids will throw on some music every once. I call them the kids. They're adults who are
with families and
yeah. But to me, they're kids. Yeah. But like, it's like in like a common area, like a music will be playing, and I'll hear a song, and I'll be like, oh, I love this song. And it's a remix of. It's not the song I love. It's the sample of the song I love, being ruined by I don't know who.
I mean, that's happened with some of my favorite artists too. There's a Jason Isbell song.
We're still on this. Still mad about this one?
You know what? That's not even the setup I was going for. But about halfway through your response, I was going, "Oh, I can connect these dots, and this is gonna land." Yeah.
But yeah, clocks. And one, why are they so difficult to change? And two, why must we change them?
You know, for as much as we obviously are fans of clocks and time, you'd think we'd be a little bit more regular on when we get this podcast out. But
Never.
But also, I think you guys kind of dig when you're not going to know when you're going to get.
Yeah, it's like a
it keeps
fun,
you on your toes.
It's like if we gave it to you every time the same time of week, like
your tolerance
your
like, goes up.
spontaneity. Yeah, it's just like
this is muscle confusion. It's the old P90X adage.
Muscle confusion. Yeah, that worked out real well.
Yeah. I got nothing else.
You got nothing else?
Yeah, you got anything?
No, I just hate I hate standard time, and why we change it will remain a mystery. Just fix it. Let's just never do it again.
I am flying out to Iowa Friday morning. You can follow my coverage from this weekend's game at lookout-eugene-springfield.com. Justin and I will be back next week to recap that and preview a Friday night game against Minnesota.
There we go.
Minnesota, those Gophers. If you are watching this on YouTube, please smash that subscribe button. And if you're listening on Spotify, iTunes, or whatever, we'd really appreciate a review. It helps us out a ton. And tell your friends because
just one friend.
Yeah, like nobody else is giving you this hot clock content.
Yeah, exactly. And if there's one thing I know that people love, it's unsolicited recommendations.
Yeah, so do that. We'll talk to you next week.